the Flickering Flame event. These are all the items you will need, and this is where to get them. Alright, so the first item we're gonna look at are candleberries, since you need them at every single tier, every single page, right? So in total, you need 250 candleberries, and the event itself gives you 180. And to get the remaining 70, you unfortunately have to buy Cold Snap and actually pick them up. Now to help you look for them and pick them up, you can use Arcadis Interactive Map from Metaforge. Over at Metaforge, you can then choose your map. You can choose what you're looking for, in this case, candleberries. And all the known locations that have been reported to the page will show up. Now, obviously, what you care about are the clusters, right? So next to power generation, there's a cluster. These islands have a cluster, and then there's a lot of them in the swamp. Annex in the forest, there's a few, but I don't like that area personally, but it's not the worst spot. So next map, Spaceport. This one has the most candleberry pickup spots, but the map is huge, right? Most of them are next to the shipping warehouse and the arrival building, and the departure building and the fuel lines, and then behind the container storage. Buried City, so top of the map basically has nothing. The bottom between Grandioso and Plaza, there's a cluster here. Then you have a bunch of them here from Plaza to Arbusto. There's also some in the park, but there's usually a Bombardier or a Bastion there, and I wouldn't recommend going there ever. Now, Blue Gate, another massive map. There's also 60 candleberries here. There's a lot of them at the edges of the map. At the bottom, there's a cluster here. And then on the right here. And then just for completion, Montes has none. One more thing worth mentioning is that baskets spawn on Cold Snap and they can hold candleberries, though they do spawn at a much lower rate than in Lush Blooms. Next item you'll need is an empty wine bottle. And because all the valuables spawn at the same places, I'm just gonna clump them all together. So wine bottles, light bulbs, film reels, coffee pots, and music albums. Basically the best places to get them are lockers and drawers. Specifically for light bulbs, I also noticed that they spawn in drawers in field depots a lot, so you can look there. You can also have Metaforge show you where all lockers are, but generally, where you can find a lot of lockers on Dam, when you enter water treatment through the front door, testing annex through the front in the lobby, and then at the back, research and admin, you can take the stairs or a zipline to a very good loot room. And at the back of it, there's showers, and you can usually find a lot of valuables there. And then power generation has some in dome as well. And there's also the small buildings, like the one next to the Red Lake elevator, and the small building next to the electrical substation. On Spaceport, before you go up to the launch towers, there's a bunch of lockers there. Departure building has a lot of lockers and drawers. The right part of control tower, where you can go up the stairs or take the zip line, there's a lot of drawers and lockers there. Blue Gate, there's some on the Pilgrim's Peak, the left building in warehouse complex, and then there's a bunch of them underground, but I wouldn't go there. Buried City, lockers in the hospital, there's a lot of them in library, 5th and 6th floor of space travel, also the red tower, and that one room in Plaza Rosa. Plastic parts are everywhere and from Scrappy, so we skip that, and durable cloth is craftable and also everywhere, so we skip that as well. Alright, next item, candle holder. Candle holder is usually found in residential, so on Dam that gives you the Ruby Residence, the Pattern House. On Buried City, basically anywhere. I found mine in Santa Maria houses, as well as one of the gray buildings, just sitting in a cupboard. But I also found them in Ruby Residence. So yeah, just residential, I recommend Buried City. Now for industrial battery. Now the most common place to find it is the dome. You can either find it in a locker or sitting on a shelf, or even one of those crates that you open up, and also at the wreckage behind Annex. Another place is rocket assembly on Spaceport. There's also a few lockers there, but I personally don't have much luck there, but I know it exists. Next up, snap blast grenades. It can be found in grenade cases. Common places for it to be are walls on Spaceport and the wall towers on the floor. Also on top of the Towns Hall on Buried City. Also on them, they are key rooms in Annex, power out room in power generation, at the edges of control tower, like the smaller building if you jump down, which is a pretty bad place to actually go for them. But yeah, I'm just throwing that out. Duct tape, again, drawers, lockers, duct tape's everywhere. You just gotta pick them up. It's in crates, it's in lockers, in drawers, on shelves, and all the places that I mentioned for valuables, you can find duct tape there. Fireball burners. You loot these from fireballs. For fireballs, you can run through just random buildings on Buried City or go down into the metro stations. On Dam, they're basically in every single building. Power generation is a great place, as well as research admin, the control tower, basically the entire complex, water treatment as well. On Blue Gate, the village, or you can go underground. On spaceport, again, in every big mart building, in the hangars, the warehouses, the shipping warehouse, as well as the arrival building, departure building, control tower, water filters. Water filters are very similar to duct tape in that they're basically everywhere, or the best map for them would be dam battlegrounds. Below the control tower, between primary facility and control tower, you can find them there in the drawers or on the shelves. Dome complex, again, lockers, shelves. In the testing annex, again, drawers, lockers, or just sitting on a shelf, on the counter, on the table. Rec yard, power generation complex, in lockers or crates. Yeah, this item is basically everywhere. Just have to pick it up. Now, mushrooms, probably best to just go for lush blooms, open up a bunch of baskets and get your mushrooms and leave. But if it's not on and you really want to have it finished, or you just don't want to do lush blooms, there's a tree on spaceport. It's usually around 3 or 4 mushrooms. And then I found this nice place on dam where I found a lot of mushrooms. But yeah, you can also just find a lot of mushrooms in the swamp in general, and also on Blue Gate, Trapper's Glade, there's a lot of mushrooms there on fallen trees. Frying pans. They can really be found anywhere, but I recommend residential. I found mine on Blue Gate in a building next to Village. So I personally just recommend going to Village. You can have the candle holders, frying pans, but also the residences on Dam. So Ruby Residence, Pattern House, as well as anywhere in Buried City. And there you have it. That's all the items you will need. I don't know if the rewards are random or if this is like the exact rewards you will get. But yeah, it's all the items. So that's all I have to say. And I hope this video helped you find everything you need.